Okay, hello everyone. So, I was sitting here and I was queuing up for my random sound alarm as a damage dealer. Yeah, 22 minutes. That's freaking annoying. I can go make dinner, breakfast and lunch at the same time and that won't even be finished. So, that's freaking annoying. And if you're new to this game and you just want to farm your valor points fast as hell, yeah, that's gonna be fun. Anyway, what do you do about it? What do you do? Is it just me, or does that sound like the introduction to a Elder Scrolls games? What do you do? A. You pickpocket your mother. 2. You kill your mother. 3. Yeah, let's just leave those two options. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. What you do? You leave the queue, because you're not gonna damage deal. You're gonna be a tank. What do you get when you're a tank? You get a freaking awesome satchel that has gold in it and may have a mount. But honestly, does it look like even close to being able to tank? I mean, I'm sorry, but no. I'm even in my holy gear, cause I was too lazy to go to the bank to get my retribution gear. I just had my two-hander for some reason in my bag. Anyway, you probably already figured that out, but I'm a tank. If you look on the action box, I'm a tank, yes. So we're gonna go into my protection gear. That's how I look. I look freaking awesome. I look freaking awesome with my bucket on my head. That should be like a Lady Gaga song. Yeah, so I'm standing here with these dummies behind me. We're gonna get to those later. The first tip. Yeah, I haven't even said that. My name is Mac, and this is my freaking lousy tanking guide for dummies. Wasn't that quite convenient that there were dummies behind me? Anyway, welcome, welcome. Feel the coziness. The first tip of the day that we're gonna go into is these are trash pools. You want to mark them, cause you're an awesome tank. You do markings. You do like that. Raid target icon skull. Raid target icon cross. And we want to have a sheep on that guy, cause as you see my gear is lousy. We can't have that many mobs hitting on me. I'm just kidding, my gear is freaking awesome. But you might not be, cause you're new to tanking, aren't you? Anyway, did you just see that we wasted a lot of time putting those marks up? And you just want to jump into the actions, and by the time you put the markings up, a Fury Warrior will probably have rushed to the guy you want to have a sheep on. And now you can't have a sheep, because you got a lot of bleeds on him instead. So, what you do instead, you go into key bindings. And you see here, you have raid targeting. And I've key bind all of my raid target icons. So skull is on my F1, cross is F2, square is, for some reason we're jumping a bit here, is on F4, moon is on F3, jumping back, triangle F5, and so on and so on. So instead of right clicking, I just click like that. Look, it's F1, 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 F1. Yeah, you try to say that real fast and not sound ridiculous, because you know I sound ridiculous as it is, so we don't have to make it even worse. Point is, you can put icons real fast. So imagine this guy, he's a healer, and he's sheep now. You can't see it because he isn't sheep, because I don't have a mage, I don't have that many friends, and there's no one in guild, but he's sheep. And you started killing these things, and you started doing threat on them. But oh, what's that? You managed to break the sheep because your shield hit it. Actually, think it doesn't break sheep. So I, have you ever paid attention when you cast your Avenger Shields that it's ignoring crowd control mobs? But let's pretend that Blizzard wasn't that smart. Let's pretend it breaks it. So your sheep is now broken, and you have a healer running around free, and now he's gonna cast a heal on that. So what you want to do, you want to start killing this guy. You're stunning him, and you want your people starting to kill him, because obviously the mage he's too busy breaking his record on the DPS meter, so he won't resheep it. So instead of wasting time putting a skull up like that, you just do like that, and now we have a skull on it, and people hopefully know that they're gonna switch to this guy instead. You might want to ride as well, switch target or something, but that takes time, and I'm not even a party, so that failed. So now this guy is dead, and you can jump back into this, and if you want this guy first dead, put a skull on it again. Okay, so that's how you put icons up real fast, and that's like a really good tip. Let's move on a bit, shall we? How do you position yourself? You got 3 guys here. These 2, they're melee. This guy, he's a healer. How do you do it? You're not gonna run to this, and you obviously aren't gonna stand like this tanking, because you can't even hit him, can you? No, you can't do a freaking shit now. If you stand like this, well, if you have lag, you might end up like this somehow. I don't know how. You're gonna stand in front of it. That's the only reasonable thing to say, and the reason I said it is because this guide is made for dummies, and dummies don't understand that you're supposed to tank them in front of you. They might actually stand like this, thinking, "Oh, I got my back to you. No, you can't hit me, because I can't even see if I zoom in. That means you're not here. Haha. All I can see is Jesus. That's what I can see." So you stand like this, because now you can block and you can parry. You can actually dodge when you're like this, but that doesn't matter. But what about this guy? Your AoE doesn't hit him, it hits that guy and that guy, but he casts, so it's not gonna run to you unless you silence it, like that. Now it's gonna run to you, but as you see, I got my Avenger Shield glyphed. What does that do? Yes, it makes them dazed. So he's gonna go like one step, and then he's gonna start casting again. Cause if he wasn't dazed, he might have gotten like this far. But what you do, you're actually gonna start on this guy. You're gonna put a skull up on that one, and like that, and also you can put a moon up. So these guys, they're gonna run to you. You put your AoE on the ground, they're gonna run in it, and establish threat on it. That's how we do it. Yes. Okay, so that's how you tank. Another thing to worry about is your cooldowns. Use them. Divine Protection, it's only 1 minute cooldown, that's like once a pull. So, I mean, if you use your cooldowns wisely, you don't have to worry about crowd control. Because this, use it in the beginning of a fight. Like when this guy's dead, that's 1 guy less that does damage on you. Even though he's a healer, he's gonna do some sort of damage, I'm sure of it. And then you don't need that for this fight, unless the healer is offline or something, then you can pop this. That's freaking 50% less damage. That's awesome. I even got a shiny bubble, so I feel more publish or something. So, use your cooldowns. They're there for a reason. You don't need to save them for a boss fight, because you're gonna have it for the boss anyway, because it's not that long of a cooldown. Lay on hands. That's something you should save for, well, emergencies. Sometimes you can actually use it for your healer, because you know sometimes they take damage, they're focusing on you. You can use it. You can use it in a raid on a raid member that the healer is not gonna be able to save. You're actually a paladin, you can heal, don't forget that. Because there's some raid encounters that you can heal on, and makes it easier for your raid. Cause like when you're not actually tanking something, you can cast a divine light. You can afford like, let's see how many I can afford. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I can afford 3 divine lights, and that can save someone. And if I save someone, that means maybe we kill the boss instead of wiping. So yeah, use your heals. Don't be stupid. But this is a boss, and this is wrong because now you can't parry, you can't block. So that's, don't heal when something is hitting you. That's just dumb. Okay, so we've gone through cooldowns. We've gone through how you position yourself. Threat, that's not really hard. You hit, you use your abilities, and you make threat. It's not really hard, to be honest. The other thing we're gonna go through is your gear. So I know this guy may be for people that's newly dinged, like are running in heirlooms. You can just ignore this part and say thank you for the day, because this won't concern you until you hit 85 or like 80 maybe. The gear in Wrath of the Lich King, how you jammed, it was pure stamina all the freaking way. The better health pool, the better tank it was. Yes, that's how we rolled. That's changed tremendously. In Wrath of the Lich King, your main attribute is mastery. Why? If you ask why, then you are one of the dummies. Mastery. Paladins and warriors. Well, warriors hasn't its name Divine Bulwark, but it's the same principle. It increases your chance to block melee attacks by 44%. Each point of mastery increase your block chance by an additional 2.25%. That's freaking why. As you see, I reforged all of my gear with the mastery rating. My helmet, a freaking awesome bucket, my shoulders, cloak, my chest that I'm saving to replace with Valor at the moment. Soul Blade. If you notice that I reforged my hit rating into mastery. Hit rating isn't for tanks at all, same for expertise. Cause you're doing enough threat as it is, and you're not a damage dealer, so it doesn't really matter if you miss a attack. If you have problem doing threat, that's one thing, then you can have some hit rating. But I always open like this, that's my opening. And if you lose aggro with this, you're doing something really wrong, or you have some sort of sick damage dealer, and then you're not supposed to be in the group, because then you have too low gear. Yes. So, no hit rating. It's fine if you have these two, that's the only and that as well. I haven't reforged that. Good god, I have to reforge that. Okay, so you have 3 items if you have the exact same gear as me with hit rating. Soul Blade, that's from Trash Pulse in Bastion of Twilight, and that can be made by a blacksmith, and that is made by Inscription. It's also needed to be replaced. And as you see, I got a quite huge health pool. That's because I got 2 stamina trinkets. I don't want to step, but I'm too lazy to get the Badding Wardens to Exalted for some reason. I managed to do it on my alt that I leveled up to 85 like 2 weeks ago. I reached Exalted today on him, convenient enough. But I haven't made it on my Paladin. But that's the sickest trinket in game.